to defend my homeland. It's a familiar sensation, oddly soothing. Kakarot, I think I understand now why you've always been so strong.
How about we skip the introduction and get right to it, okay? Fusion Pop!
Supporting local chess is the way to be. This is the way. 100%. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I like this song. Dragon Ball Z. Budokai 2 Belays. I have no idea what this stuff is. Amazing. Okay, let's get started. Make some changes. Hello, hello, welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, that has been changed. Let me fix that. That needs to be moved. Don't know how that got kind of messed up, but made some changes. Oh, that's why I made changes to things, but I did not actually... Oh, that one seems to be fixed. Okay, maybe I missed the other one. Okay. 3 AP courses without a study hall. That sounds like normal. That would be Mr. Pennell. Okay, welcome, 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 everybody. We can get started. Pretty good. I had a pretty decent tournament. This was the Hot Summer Swiss, I believe. My opponent was Mr. Mike Gundlach in round 1. This is the first time at the club. 3 APs ain't normal. Oh, well, times must have changed. This was the Hot Weather Swiss at the Waukesha Chess Club. Round 1, I was playing Mike Gundlach, and he's getting stronger. I've played him a few times, and he's always a challenge. You have to be careful. Even though his rating is only 1103, he can play like a 1500 when he wants to. So you have to give him a little bit of respect, because he can really kind of give you a run for your money if you're not paying attention. He's got sneaky tricks, and he can catch you sleeping if you're not paying attention, for sure. Yeah, he's a good opponent. Always good to have a game with Mike. What's really interesting about Mike is sometimes when he's not paying attention to the board, he'll flip his score sheet over and he'll start drawing you, or start drawing pictures. So he's made a bunch of art, and he showed me some of his art on his phone. He's actually pretty good. So in his older days, he has gotten into some other hobbies, which are kind of interesting. So all right, let's get into it. So this game started with d4, and I played knight f6, and I know that he is a London player. Ew, London. I know people play the London. That's fine. This is what Mike knows, and he's comfortable here. it's good practice to play against the London because it's common. A lot of people are playing it now, and it you have to be careful. Mike knows the plans. He knows some plans that can really kind of get you in a bind pretty fast. So I started with a Nimzo Queen's Indian type structure. I've decided at this tournament, I've actually, what is the, I got to look at the next game. No, yeah. So I was starting to play different things. The chess doodler, yeah, that's funny. I'm starting at this point in which was I played this on July 19th, so almost a month ago, or over a month ago, and I've been playing with changing my black repertoire at this point, and I'm not sure and haven't focused in on what I want to play yet. So I went with the Queen's Indian defense, knowing that he was going to play a London, and he's not going to play, the most aggressive moves. He knows his plan and he doesn't go for anything else. So let's kind of dive a little bit further into it. So I've got my normal structure the way I want, and I like this structure a lot. It gives you a lot of flexibility, especially if you come back to here. A lot of different structures can arise from these first two moves, these two, knight f6 and e6. So depending on what white does here, there's a lot of options. If they play c4 right away, let's add a new line, new variation. We could delay playing the Nimzo, but you could play it right away if you wanted. This gives white an option to play the knight a little bit differently with this move order. I'm not super familiar with these particular lines yet, because the Nimzo is kind of new to me. It also gives you the option to play a hedgehog type of structure, which for those of you that don't know, are with these pawn pushes, knight here, and we kind of get this type of structure, which is really nice. Hey Strobix, what's going on? Welcome. And then you could play a Queen's Indian, which is a really well-known and well-established opening. I went for this round because it was something I was starting to study, and I like this opening because it gives me a lot of flexibility. I can still roll into a hedgehog type of structure if I want. I can play here and here with my knight here and develop that way. I've lost the right to actually play a Nimzo because they've played c3. So the flexibility here is really nice. I tend to like the ability to have options and maybe not completely fight for the center right at the beginning, but delay it a little bit, which can keep white guessing a little bit. Me knowing what Mike is going to play, I know his first, bunch of moves are going to be fairly standard. And he developed his bishop here to be d3, pretty standard. He seems to like to delay playing his knight on b to d2. I've noticed this in his white games, his games from the white side. So it's really interesting that he does that. I don't know if he just likes to potentially play knight to a3 on occasion. I haven't seen him do that, but he seems to delay this knight move quite a bit. And maybe it's due to something, or he just doesn't like playing with that knight. I don't know. That's weird. But he's elected to actually bring his knight. This is a pretty standard move in the Queen's Indian defense, with the idea of bringing the knight here and playing for e5, or playing for c5. And after castling, these are all fine plans. I wanted to challenge the bishop right away. by playing bishop to d6. I'm going to put the London player's bishop to the test. What are you going to do? I want you to do something about it. I'm not going to just let you have this. So I've already staked my claim. I want to fight for the center, and I don't want you to be able to have this nice diagonal. So he plunks his knight in, which I was expecting him to do because I've played those variations of moves with him before, not in the Queen's Indian, but in a different opening that I played with him last. And I knew that he would throw this in here really quickly. Because I think the next thing that he really likes to do is either bring his queen to f3 or his knight on b over to f3. But I know that he likes to get aggressive with his queen and bring his queen in pretty quickly. So I decided castling here was probably the safest route. And now we can kind of decide on how the game. I'm almost completely developed here. My next move is going to be knight b to d7. And we're going to kind of continue on. I'm going to challenge this knight, and we're going to go from there. So he brought his knight to d2. Pretty standard, finishing his development. He still needs to get castled, and he delays castling because I think sometimes he likes to castle queenside. And I know that there's a fair number of London players that like to do that. I think it's more common with the Jabava London players than it is with the traditional London players to castle queenside, specifically with regard to when black is castled kingside. Because then the idea is to go this way and then kind of pawn storm all this stuff this way, and you've got this tremendous pressure coming in on the king side, and black is kind of, I'm kind of blocked off. All my pieces are on this side of the board, with the exception of this knight. So, oh, nope, we don't want to do that. So that's part of the issue there. So with that, that's fine, and I'm okay with that. So I'm going to strike in the center. The Jabava London is amazing against the King's Indian defense specifically. Interesting. I've never been a Jabava London player. I was a former London player. I played it for a while, a long time before I came back to chess, actually. I found a few years ago, I found a Simon Williams video online, and he said if you wanted to cut down on opening theory and you wanted a solid opening to play the London. So I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And this is way before it became very popular. And I wasn't at the club, and I was raising small children, and I was actually just only playing daily chess on chess.com. So pretty much I was just playing the London. That's a lot of my games. So if you go look at some of my history from 2 or 3 years ago or before, you're going to see a lot of my white side play was in London's. So yeah. Okay, so this move serves a few purposes. One, I want to put pressure on the center. Two, I might want to lock things down. It gives me a chance to kind of play this way and attack this bishop and kind of give him some things to think about. And the other thing is I have the ability to just blow it all open, which I kind of want to do. This knight's really nicely placed, so I have to deal with it at some point. And it's okay. It's pretty solid structure for both players. I'm not exactly sure where the evaluation is right now. Probably a little bit of advantage to white, maybe plus 0.5 or something like that, just because they're a little bit more developed. And they have a little bit more space with the knight being in my territory. But, I have c5 in, and completely undeterred. There's, I'm always going to have a pawn on c5 if I want it there, which is nice. So, and he followed up with queen to f3. Now, I don't remember a lot of the plans in the London. And I feel like this move is a mistake. Specifically because of this guy. Now, if that guy wasn't there, and let's say my bishop was somewhere else, I feel as though maybe it's okay. I'm not exactly sure what the plan is with bringing the queen in. It has the potential to be harassed, specifically if this bishop ever becomes active. I don't really see a point of doing that. Maybe they want to push e4. There's pressure here like this. And, wrong color. There's only these 3 pieces on it. So I'm not exactly sure what the purpose is. I believe the plan is to eventually try to push e5 or e4. But, it doesn't really gain a lot. Specifically because my bishop on b7 is going to become very active. And there's no reason why you would really want to do that as the white, the player from the white side. Given that I don't like that move, I think that move is not what you should do. I think the other move here is a much better move to play. Maybe with the idea of queen to c2 and then castling queenside and then pushing these pawns. That would, if I was playing white, this is what I would want to see, or this is what I would try to do. My knight on e5 is securely placed. It's not going anywhere. And I think white in this position is going to start having all the fun. And black has to deal with it rather quickly. So plus with the queen on this diagonal, this is going to get weak. So there's a lot of things that we have to consider and take care of. I can always plunk my knight in there as well. So, there's some options here. I like that kind of plan better for white here than what Mike had played. We talked a little bit after the game, but it was very short. There wasn't really a whole lot of post-mortem on it, unfortunately. Mike doesn't seem to want to usually... He talks for a few moments, but it's not a lot. So going over a game with him after is not something that usually happens, at least in my experience. I really would have liked to talk to him about this particular move and see what he was thinking and what his idea was here. But yeah. The other thing that he obviously could have done, the other thing that he could have possibly done is then also pushed f3 to also support this type of push as well after getting castle queenside. So there's definitely some options there that I think might have been better for him than this move, because I think later this move kind of gets him into some trouble. It adds pressure, but like I said, with the bishop being there, I think it's not really anything to worry about. So I played queen to c7. I think this does a few things. It supports my pawn on c4, which it's not really needed, but really what it serves is, this diagonal here. And this is really, really nice diagonal to have. My ideas are coming here and put pressure on this knight. So I can just, not that. Sorry about that. I can bring my knight into d7 and then trade some pieces off. So if he does nothing, let's just put another, move on the board. And I get a chance and he puts another move on the board. I know that these wouldn't really happen, but my ideas are coming through like this. So now he's really got to do something with his bishop. He probably would move back, but we get a position like this, and yeah, the knight here on C, or the pawn on C3 is really difficult. My queen is really nicely centrally placed, and I've got a super strong center, and I'm up a pawn. So I see some of those things, and even if he drops back, he can't drop back now. He's got to do. This is why you don't want your queen here, because a lot of trades are going to happen here, and you're kind of almost forced to take it. Because if you don't, you've just dropped a piece. I could super clear. I'm not sure I'm following what you mean. Is it just was it not clear before? Maybe I've adjusted something by accident. It looks like my levels look good, but yeah, it's weirdly clear today. Well, I've been using the same mic. Nothing's changed, so maybe I have it closer to my face. It's off camera, so I don't think it's any closer to my face, but I don't know. Not sure, but I'm glad it's working and it sounds good. Okay, so yeah, these are the kind of the ideas that I was thinking about in this particular variation. So you have to be careful with this queen on f3, because the ideas are going to be trading. There's going to be some mass liquidation on the e5 square, particularly. And then he lashed out a little bit. At least when I saw this move, I thought it was lashing out, because he's uncastled. And it's like, well, just castle. Like, get castled. I understand the move. I don't think he understood the move. If I was playing somebody else that was a little bit stronger, like some of the people in chat, I would fear this move a little bit more. I would understand this move from someone who is an aggressive chess player. This to me seemed like lashing out for Mike, because he's still not yet castled, which is a principle that he's violated. Because even after, I remember a comment saying something, he's like, I couldn't get to your king or something like that. He made some sort of comment like that, which I found interesting, because he moves these two pawns, which you'll see the next one coming up in a few moves, because eventually he's going to get h4 like we were talking about before. And then it just kind of goes nowhere. It kind of fizzles out. So in an effort to not really have to deal with the impending g5, which can be a little bit of a threat, I thought, you know what, we're gonna go backwards here. And this is a move that I'm probably not super happy about, mainly because it's one of my more passive moves of the game, and I felt like I probably had better options. But I look at it now, because I like this move, even though it's dropping back and I don't like going backwards. I want to be moving forward. I gave myself the ability to play f5 or f6. And the reason I did this was trying to force all these trades, because I'm going to play f6 next. And what is he going to do with this knight? He's going to have to force a trade. So some things are going to get forced. It's going to get changed. The structure and the course of the game is going to change drastically in the next few moves because of making this move. It is a little bit passive, but I kind of feared, I feared this move a little bit, because I have to come back anyways. But I didn't really want that pawn kind of in my face, even though it can come on the next move in my face, but I wanted to move my knight on my terms and not on his. So that's why I did that. So I came backwards with the idea of potentially playing f6 or f5 if I have to, or if I need to. he played queen to g3, which to me is a mistake. I think he should just continue with his attack, push h4, and then start pushing his pawns. I understand why he did this, because he needs another defender on the e5 square. So it makes sense why he did this. But I feel like you can just make a few trades, and then you would already have these pawns kind of in the way. And I think the queen is kind of... it's placed on the king side, but it's stuck behind a pawn, and it's going to be stuck behind both pawns really quickly, and it's not going to do a lot. Now, at least not now. It's pretty slow. But yeah, the idea here is that he's kind of loading up on hanging on to this knight. But I'm going to start making some trades, and I suspected that he would do this. And I thought, okay, to me, I really like this. Now, I thought that he would trade, and trade. I saw this with the idea, after he took, playing this, because I get this discovery, and he can't really take these pawns, because then I'm going to win a rook. So he's got to move, and then I can further mess up his structure. So he would probably move here, which is fine, and then I would play this. And this just, to me, looked fantastic for black. There's, like, look how strong my structure is. And his pawns are just crushed. Like, nothing that he could really do. Yeah, he could play d4 here. You're right. That would have been a good move. Absolutely. Yeah. This would have been nice. I didn't see that during the game. But either way, even if this did come about, he's closed his bishop from attacking my king, so I'm okay with that. And my knight's coming to e5. Well, he could play f. Actually, I would stop I would stop f5 or f4 by playing g5, and then go after this. But yeah, this is interesting. Instead of d4. Instead of me playing the move d4. Now, I'm just talking about what I saw during the game. I saw this during the game and thought that this was good. But you're talking about not playing d4 here and playing c4. Yeah, this type of thing actually happens. Play c4, then d4. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see that during the game, but this makes sense. Yeah, kick the bishop to a different square and then play it. Yeah. Maybe. Now that I'm looking at it further, I can't... That kind of gets lost, I think. Well, actually, no. Because if he doesn't take... Yeah, because then we get a protected pass pawn. And a variation kind of like this happens within the game, you're going to see. But yeah, this type of scenario does kind of happen. So these were some of the things that I saw. But he took with the pawn, and that kind of... I saw that he might consider this, because he probably didn't want to mass trade, because a lot of that's a lot of calculation. And I mean, those are 3 or 4 moves, and there's a lot of different variations there. So any move order and all that, it's difficult to calculate. But he played here, which I was expecting him to do, and I just moved my bishop back. thinking that, okay, I have another piece just in case. Even though he's got this bearing down, this bearing down, this guy's going to come in. He does have an attack if he wants to take it. And he kind of did a little bit, but I can always play H or F5 or F6. And, well, I can't play F6 right now, but, or F5 right now. I have to move my queen before I do all that. But, you know, I'm going to get my knight developed and we're going to start moving. So things are going to happen. So yeah, I moved back and then he played H4. So my idea of what white I think should be doing, he's starting to do. And he's still not castled, which I find really interesting. You know, like, what is he waiting for? Like, castle queenside, and then all your pieces are pointing. You have an attack and you have initiative. I have to deal with it. And this is what I talked to him in the postmortem about. It was very short, but I was like, because he made a comment about his pawns that he couldn't get at my king. And I said, I think you just had to push him. Like, you stopped. Like, at this point, he doesn't push his pawn. Like, he doesn't push any more pawns on the king side. And he's got a crazy attack coming. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get my rook on an open file because it's highly likely that the D file is going to open up. And main thing that I see that, I mean, anybody that's sitting here looking at this position, what kind of plan would you have? Leave a comment down below. If you're watching this as a video, leave a comment anywhere you see this type of material. What would be your plan as black? Because right now it looks like you're kind of jammed up and you have to do something. So some of the ideas are pushing D4 or C4 because you're going to unleash this bishop on this really nice diagonal, which is awesome. But one thing that really should stick out to everybody, pause the video and try to figure it out. There's one thing that I'm trying to think about that I'm guessing a lot of people maybe don't notice. At some of the, if you're newer to chess, you're most certainly not going to see this, and it's tough to see. This piece right here, it's undefended, just sitting out there in the middle of the board without anybody helping it. And that should give you an idea of a plan of attack. Now, we do have to worry about all of these pending plans that they could come at us, but he's not coming at us. And until he gets close, we're not going to worry about it. So when I got to this position, I had been thought to myself, I thought back to a bunch of studies that I was looking at with sacrificing on H7 and G7 to open up kingside. I'd been doing some studies with tactics and things like that in that particular realm of attacking the king. And it usually happens if a pawn is on H6 or G6 or H3 or G3 respectively. And you can sacrifice the pawns, but if you never move the pawns, it's a lot harder for them to be able to sacrifice against. If you stay in the structure just like this, it's very safe. And if you don't move any pawns like that, it's very difficult for them to crack through. They have to have multiple pieces or a pawn to kind of break in. But if I'm patient, and it's tough to not want to move these pawns because this stuff is here. But if you can really be like, oh, none of this stuff matters. It's all coming in, but as long as I don't move any pawns, there's no threats. At least not yet. So be diligent about keeping your king side intact by not pushing pawns in front of them, because that usually gives anchors to be able to do sacrifices on. So if I had a pawn on H6, let's say this was my move, you know, they could immediately start thinking of stuff like this. And already it's kind of like, oh no, this is bad. So it's not ideal to move things in front of your king. If you can hold off, don't do it. Okay, so I want to target this piece right here. And I want to open things up with d4. And he brings his other piece in. And I thought, okay, well, there's now some tactics in the position. Or you have to have a little bit of intuition that tactics are starting to arise. I want to push d4. And the idea behind pushing d4 is because it's going to unleash my bishop, like we mentioned before. And now there's a knight here. It's only protected by the queen. So my thought is, well, okay, I'm going to put my queen here because now I have a battery. And if I get this pawn out of the way, that's a free knight. So that's what I want to do. That's my plan. And he castles kingside, which blew my mind when he did this. I had a Kasparov moment when he did that, because I was like, what are you talking about? Like, you moved all these pawns in front of your king, or in front, not even in front of your king. You should have castled queenside and then move this other rook over here and just push him. Like, this is a basic plan. Here, and now just push everything down the board and blow up my king side. Look, like, all of your pieces are on the king side. This position that was white is screaming, play on the king side. I mean, look at all my pieces are over here. All black's pieces are away from the king, and everything is just pointing at the king. Castle queenside. Get your rook over here and push him. That would be really tough to deal with. And he castled kingside, and I was so surprised and shocked that he did this. This was, I'm gonna guess that this was probably, this has to be a blunder. We're gonna mark it as such because I really think it's not. A better move would have been here. Yeah. Okay, so I continue with my plan. Now I'm going to get some things going. And he sees the tactics. He is smart and stopped it with e4. And now I get to play exactly how I wanted to. And I'd calculated this. When he played here, I calculated, all of these things. So here, and he's going to stop it, which is the most logical move. And then he gets this, and he moves back, and then I get this protected pass pawn with tempo, bishop's only move. What he should have done is probably just move all the way back to b1, but now it blocks in that rook, so no matter which way you do this, it's not good. This is probably the best way to play it, I guess. But now I win the e5 pawn. And at this point, I feel like whatever attack he had is now gone. I've now, not only have I equalized, but I've gone way ahead. Frank. Sorry, I'm just checking my messages here. I thought I heard an alert. So yeah, not only have I gone from maybe being behind to, but now I'm most certainly ahead, and this, I believe, is a winning position for black already. I don't know what the evaluation would be here, but I'm going to guess it's probably at least plus 2.5, if not more. Just because bishop takes e4, or fat blunder. Bishop takes e4. Where do you see bishop takes e4? Maybe I'm missing something. Sorry. Hang on. Um, oh, I guess it wasn't. Well, welcome. That's okay. Sometimes I mix up the names too. Hang on one second. I have an alert I have to deal with. Okay. Yeah. Queen takes e4. I win a pawn, and I'm feeling pretty good. I've got this protected pass pawn, and yeah, this is pretty much winning for black, I believe. So, um, I think he's struggling to find a plan. Doesn't really know what to do. I think I don't think trading off pieces is the right idea here. I think he should be very mindful and careful. I thought that he would just play. I thought he would just play this, and I would just have to come back, and then go from that. So, that's what I thought was going to happen. I'd have to consider coming back to. I wouldn't come back to G6 because, you know, this would be met with. So if we do this, this would be bad. We can't do that because now our queen is trapped. So that would be a blunder. But we could come back to either here or here. I think here's probably the safest. We have to be careful of knight to e4, but here works too. And I thought we would just continue playing a game from here. So, yeah, I thought the other thing that he might consider doing is actually coming to here and kind of blocking and jamming things up. And that didn't happen either, but I saw those types of things. So, yeah, takes. And I thought, okay, well, yeah, if you want to trade off some pieces, I'm ahead. I have this protected pass pawn. I'm happy to trade. And now I need to get my other piece back in the game. He finally comes and hits me with rook e1, and now I have to do something with my queen, which I had seen. And he played this move, which to me was extremely odd. I really have no idea what purpose that move serves. I wish I would have had a postmortem with him because it doesn't really make a lot of sense to make that move. I think he's worried about the checkmate threats, but like it's not there yet. His knight is pinned, so he can't do anything with it. But I'm not sure what his ideas were with that. I thought a better move might have been, queen here and then knight to e4, but I'm not quite sure why he did that. So he moves here, king to f1, which I believe is another. I don't think it's a blunder, but I feel like it's a mistake. It definitely wasn't an amazing move, I don't think. Maybe there's something I'm missing that I just don't see, but I don't know. I played knight c5, trying to, get more control and bring my knight into e4. And he comes here. And I don't know if you guys have calculated it, but I'll let you guys sit here. I don't know. You've probably seen the moves, so you can probably calculate the move order here. But yeah, there's a cool mating sequence. If you can't see it and you didn't see the notation, maybe I should get rid of the notation just because of this type of stuff. I feel like it's probably not useful for people. Yeah, there's a cool mating sequence here, so pause the video and try to figure it out for yourself. Okay, so the next one's pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, so there's a really cool mating sequence here. This is an awesome mate threat. So check. And there's no way to stop. Queen h3, check. Queen blocks, and queen takes g2, checkmate. After I made this move, he resigned, but I put this in the game because it's just sweet to see. And it's nice to have been able to calculate after that. So yeah, and I saw it immediately. I don't think I spent, I made the moves fairly instantaneously. I think I spent a minute just confirming just to make sure, but yeah, it was a really nice game. So Mike played a great game, but yeah, you got to be careful with him. And yeah, I think back here before all of these things, I think that was his major mistake. This is totally a blunder. There's no way that should have been played. I'm not sure why he played that. I wish I could have had a postmortem with him because I would have asked him about it. But yeah, I think if he would have followed the plan that I was coming up with, it would have just been difficult to deal with. Not sure where it was, but yeah, I think that was if you played h6 type of stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some stuff in there. The plans we were talking about, I think, would have been good. So yeah, really good game for my opponent. If you're watching this back later, thanks for watching, everybody. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. So we're 1-0, 1 for 1 in the tournament here, which is nice. So my next game is with Robin. I think we're just gonna get rid of that. I don't like that, and I think what we will do is chat. What we're going to do is, oh, that doesn't work that way. Here, do it this way. No, that's not what I want. Chess-based chat, there we go. Can we go this way? That is weird. I think there's a way. Hang on one second. Width. 1000. Okay, that's better. Nice. And let's do 1100. Oh, that's too much. Way too much. So let's do 1050. Still too much. 1025. Okay, there we go. That's much better. We'll move this to the left. And there we go. Now we've got a full chat. Full chat. I don't think people need to really see the chess-based annotations. I think it takes away from the game. Okay, next game. Chess-based board. Let's change this. Oh, right. Sorry, hang tight. 1 second. We're in pending. Okay. Okay. Legally Blind Gamer. Hi there. I learned something cool earlier. You know, you can get the PGN from your previous games. You can put it into ChatGPT and get a verbose breakdowns of your game's notable moves. No, I've actually not tried that. I've used ChatGPT for a bunch of things. I've actually used it to create chess study plans and stuff like that. You know, based on goals and stuff like that, which is really awesome. I have not actually used it to analyze and look at a PGN. To me, though, I believe, yeah, I'm sure it probably gives you a ton of verbose information, right? Though I'm sure that's a very useful tool, and I'm sure it has very, very good applications. I think that would be, I think when you're a beginner and you're starting with beginning and you're going up to, I don't know, maybe 1500 or so, that I think it can be useful, but I think it should be used sparingly. ChatGPT study plans are insane. I use some stuff and it's pretty nuts. So now you can kind of understand why some of my plans and my study plans are the way they are, is because I've used ChatGPT to work for me, and not think about it myself. Actually, to be honest with you, the first time I tried it, it was absolutely atrocious. It didn't work very well. But then I refined my questions to be a little bit better, and I was able to come up with a couple of questions to ask it, and then it read out like a very detailed plan, and then what it gave me was a full plan, and then I said, I can do this amount of time for chess per day. Please set a schedule based on all of this information, and then it wrote a whole plan for me, and it was actually really, if you do it a couple of times, you can get really good with it. It's actually amazing. ChatGPT with chess is very powerful. I should clip that because that's going to be worth it. Here. There we go. I think that worked. Maybe it's clip. Creating clip. There we go. So, yeah, anybody that wants to create a clip, go ahead and you can clip whatever you want, and then it'll just create clips in my Twitch, and I can post them to YouTube and Twitter and TikTok for cool things to say and to post, which is good. ChatGPT is very powerful. You can use it for a lot of things, which is quite amazing. I have not used it with the PGN, but what I was saying before is I believe that if you're going to use ChatGPT for game analysis and checking your PGNs, that you should have already, I would treat that like engine work, where you can only use the engine or ChatGPT to tell you all this stuff after you've done a bunch of that work yourself. Period. Reason being is that I think you get most of the value from doing the work yourself and trying to work through it and calculate on your own, find new lines, find new ideas, and then checking with those tools to check your work. Kind of like you know the answers, and a lot of times the answers that they give you may not understand, and if you work through them and you still don't understand them, it's very difficult. Yeah, it does. I don't use chess.com because I think I can get all that for free on Lichess, but yeah, chess.com is fine. My problem with the analysis mode and the game review is that they're not accurate. The game review from chess.com is actually not amazing. It still has a lot of improvement that's needed, mainly because it'll tell you what the best move is, and it's not actually the best move. If you let the engine run, because the game review only runs on like depth 18 or something like that. If you let it run for 5 seconds more, it's going to give you a different top move. So it's like a close top move. It's not actually a top move. So I would use those game reviews and analysis and all of that stuff with a grain of salt, and try to really understand the issues that you had. So if you see something that's a blunder, that's a great place to use and understand those game reviews and understand why that was a blunder. If you can go through those, that's going to drastically improve your game. If you're using it to go through your game and you have like 5 inaccuracies, you're not gonna get much from it, because you're not gonna understand why those are inaccuracies. It's not gonna tell you. It's not gonna be like, hey, The other thing is like, I'll play a game on chess.com and I'll say that I played it like a 2500. I'm not a 2500, period. So it's kind of use that stuff with a grain of salt. That's my only take. So you can use them. I think they're great tools, but use them sparingly. You're only 1320 at the moment, so I still feel like I'm getting a little bit out of it. I just lost 3 in a row. I had to take a break. So that's great that you're taking breaks after losing. I have a rule. If I play games, I have a rule. I can only play up to 5 games a day, no matter what level it is. That's it. No more. I'm not going to play any more than 5 games a day, ever. And I have a rule. If I lose one game, I used to have a rule. If I lose 2 in a row, I'm done for the day. But now if I lose one game, I'm done for the day. I'm not playing any more chess. It avoids tilt. It gets rid of all the nonsense. And then I go through and I go over that game, and I spend at least as much time analyzing it afterwards as to why I lost as I played the game at a minimum. Yeah, 10.0 was great. I don't do bullet. I will play blitz, but the only time that I play blitz is when I'm trying to study new lines for openings, and then I don't care what the opening. I don't care if I win or lose those games. The only thing I care about is where I was at the end of the opening phase, to know that I'm getting to a spot that I want to be in at the end of my opening lines. That's all I use blitz for. Period. Yeah, the results don't matter. I only try to fix what I have broken, and I drill it. So any mistake that I make in any one of my games, rapid, or classical, even my classical games, any game that I make, I take that mistake, and wherever it was in the sequence, if it's in the opening, the mid game, or the end game, it gets added to my own custom chessable course. And then what I do is I cycle them again, so I don't ever get those mistakes. So if I made a major mistake in my last game with Evan. There's a tactical sequence. I played Evan this week. Spoiler alert, he won. But we had a really good game. It was really rich. There was a lot of detail in the game, even though it was a short game. And there's a ton to learn from it. So there's going to be a few mistakes that I add just from that game alone into my chessable course, and I guarantee I'll never make those mistakes again. And there's some motifs, a motif that I don't really completely understand yet. So, if you can minimize all your mistakes and you can drill those mistakes so you don't make them again, it's really huge for your learning. Well, I mean, it's possible. You know, I played some rapid games or some blitz games with Evan later, and I gave him some trouble. So you know, the first game that we played after we did our postmortem, I gave him a lot of stuff to think about. So, and there's a couple times I think I've beaten him a couple times in blitz, but it's very few. But yeah, I can. He's a straight up beast for sure. Very difficult. But I was happy to play him. Yeah, everybody, like I've said before, everybody plays in a range. Your range is usually 200 points above to 200 points below wherever your rating is. So if you're having a really bad day, it could be, you know, in your 1300 or whatever, you could be playing at 1100 level. If you're having a great day, you could be playing at a 1500 level. That's on average. It could swing one way or the other, even more, depending on how you're playing. But my Elite Chess Rapid is over 2200, so I'm approaching 2300, I think. So that's huge. 2 months ago, it was 1700, 1600. I've gained like 500 points in like 4 weeks. So, yeah. I've got 5 free Chessable course slots. Is there a bot command to link yours? Oh, yeah, no, so you mean my private course? It's not public, it's only private. So that's only for me. Only I can see that. It's not shareable. If I were to make it public, I believe people could, but I think when you go through and make a course, you then have to have it approved by the Chessable team to make public so that anybody could download it if it was a free course. There's some hoops you have to jump through for that sort of thing. But yeah, my course is only for me, and it's only my custom thing. Nobody else can see that. They're my issues, not anybody else's. So 2220, yeah, okay. I haven't checked in a day or two. I just know I hit it the other day, and I haven't lost yet. So I could only imagine that was higher than 22. I don't even know how many points you get from a win because I turned off all the ratings. I don't even know. You should beat me and gain 2 points and get to 2222. Is that your peak? Is 2222? I'm at my peak right now, so I feel pretty good about it. That's awesome. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Sorry, I have a few notifications here. Oh, those are the same thing. Okay, cool. All right, everything seems to be fine. Your peak is 2165. Oh, well, I mean, we're right around the same. You're like a couple games away from passing me up. Yeah. All right. Let's get into the next game. My next game is with Robin Grachowski. I've played him a couple of times. I don't have in front of me what my record is against him, but I am white, so let's switch the board. And yeah, I've played him a couple of times. I think we're mostly even. I think he's like at our club, he is like considered the draw master, so he gets a lot of draws. He likes to trade down and then get into these positions. He's very interesting. Yes, guess the opening. What is the opening? Guess the opening. Oh, that's some content right there. Guess the opening I'm going to play. I bet you can't guess it. creating all kinds of content right now. This is awesome. I've got stuff loaded up, so loaded up. Lots of TikToks coming. I think I stitched like 7 or 8 videos when my kids were taking a bath, and I'm gonna post those all in the next couple of days. So lots of content coming if you want to see it. You're gonna go with the English Botanik system. Well, you would be right. You win the day. And yes, you win. It's an English Botanik system. We get our normal system. And Rob, I've played this before, and the last time I played this against him, I got a draw. And he knows how to control the center. Robin is very good at that. And he won't let you get away with stuff. He's a strong 1600 player. And actually, fun fact about Robin is that though he does draw a lot, he knows most openings. He knows a lot of openings. I bet you won't guess the next one, though, to be honest with you. I play black in the next game, but you're not going to... I bet you won't know what I played. So he is very, very good, and on a good day, he can play like a master, for sure, and not just any like a strong master. When he's on and wants to play, he can play really well, and this day he played very well. He's played stronger than I've ever played him. Was this day, and fun fact about him is that he's actually a correspondence chess master. So that's pretty cool. That's something that I'm also trying to obtain is a higher correspondence rating. I enjoy correspondence. I know it's not for everybody, but I actually really enjoy it a lot. I don't know why, but I tend to do a lot better when I've got time to dive into a position. So, yeah, so we played this variation, which is pretty normal to trade off. And yeah, I think I get that sense too. Sometimes he just doesn't want to play. This day he played, and he came with the fire, because this game ended in 38 moves, which is typical of a game with Robin, but I'm pretty sure I was lost long before that. So I played E3, this is mainline Botanik English stuff. These lines are actually in my Iron English chessable course from Simon Williams. So if you guys are interested in that, I did not put a exclamation point link to that, but if you look up Iron English, you should find it. Simon Williams is a pretty well-known author on Chessable, so his stuff's not hard to find. I like Simon Williams quite a bit, and I follow a lot of his openings because I just like him as a content creator, and I feel like I have a similar style to him. So, if you find a creator that you like, and they play the same type of chess and same types of things that you do, gather all the stuff you can, and then just digest as much of it as you can. I've done the same, so it's definitely helped my chess a lot. So yeah, this is pretty normal. Bishop e7 is pretty awesome. I love my B-chop. The Ginger GM, they call the man with the beard the Ginger GM. Actually, cool thing, I posted maybe a few months ago, Simon Williams and David Howell. No, Simon Williams and Danny Wrench were broadcasting together on some chess.com event. And what was it? It was some rapid event, I think. And I don't remember the gentleman's name, but there's a new Rising Star GM from Spain. And Istagura. Is that his name? I'd have to look it up. I can't remember. His name is escaping me, but he has a beard very similar to mine. And I commented during the live stream on Twitch to chess.com to Simon. I said, always trust the man with the beard. No, it's not Maxime. It's not him. It is I gotta look it up now. It's gonna bother me if I don't. Grand Master. No. Chess Grandmaster. I think let me check Twitter. I think I follow him on Twitter. Cuz I was just so happy that he was doing so well, and he's been a GM for a while, but it's like he was finally getting some kudos cuz he was playing well. My tab just crashed. Okay, that's cool. All right, let's get rid of that stuff. Come on, Twitter. Do your thing. Don't crash. Don't crash. Following. I might not be able to find it. I'm going to try, but... I can't find it, unfortunately. He's not there. Don't know. But... maybe he was Brazilian. Maybe I'm mixing him. No, I thought he was from Spain. I must find it. So let's look at chess.com. It was a chess.com event. So let's log in. It was a rapid tournament. News. Let's go to the news page. I'm going to guess it's in there if I go back far enough. No, it was before Bullet Brawl. It was before the World Cup. So it's before that. It was before PogChamps. I will find it. I will find it. I assure you of this. Maybe it was Bullet. Was it the Bullet Chess? It was Bullet Chess. Let's find the Bullet Chess standings. Oh, okay. My whole thing crashed, I guess. It was... maybe it was not Bullet Chess. Maybe it was before Bullet Chess. Might have been. I think it was, yeah, it was before Bullet Chess. Must have been Rapid then. Sorry, I don't have my chat up right now. So I don't see if you guys are... no, it's not any of them. Alright, so it was before Bullet Chess. I think it was the Rapid Championship. Yeah, it was the Aim Chess Rapid. Here we go. is. No, not any of them. Yeah, I don't remember the dude's name, and I cannot find this. Ugh. Maybe it was the Chess Champions Tour. July. It's gonna bother me if I don't find it. Really, I mean, seriously. There. Oh, I found it. I found his name. Iturizaga. What was his first name? Eduardo. Yeah, Eduardo Iturizaga. And he, that's what his name was. I'll post it in the chat. So he was playing really well, and nope, sorry, that's my, I guess it doesn't paste out of there. That's lame. Copy. Does it work now? Dum dum dum. There we go. It did. Okay, that's dude's name. So anyways, he was playing that, and I had said in the chat, and during the chess.com live stream, I said always trust the man with the beard. And Simon Williams pointed at the screen and to Danny and said, "Do you see what that says?" And then they featured my chat comment on the live stream, which I thought was awesome. And he looked at Danny, he says, "Always trust the man with the beard." So yeah, I felt pretty good about that, to be recognized a little bit, which was nice. So I thought it was pretty funny. Anyways, back to my game. So I digress. All right, so we are in this normal structure, castles. This is pretty standard. F4 and E takes F4. And here, I believe, is where I've pretty much lost the game. I should have just taken with the knight, which is the standard move. But for some reason, I totally spaced and forgot my prep. And no, I'm going to leave it in, man. It's going to be in. I'm going to tell the story in the middle of a video. I don't even care. People like it, they don't. Whatever. It's going to be in the uncut stream anyway. So yeah, this is all going to be up in the video of the day when I'm done streaming, and then it's going to end up on my uncut channel anyways. So people will watch it or they won't. That's cool. Either way. Okay. Uh-oh. I have some drop frames. Sorry if it gets choppy for a moment. Looks like it corrected though. I took here, and my game is pretty much garbage at this point, because I didn't see the next series of moves. I should have just taken with the knight and went from there, which is what I was supposed to do. That's what's in my prep. And he played here, and I was like, well, now I'm kind of in trouble because D3 is weak. This square is weak, like all, whoopsies, that was just wonky. All of this is just nasty. So, yep. There's a lot to go over, and now look at this, like, just nasty. how am I supposed to stop this stuff? Yeah, I just messed this game up completely. So I'm trying to like just get out of it here. And I think this was actually my blunder right here. This is probably still okay. I think I can play D. I don't really even know what to do here, honestly. I think maybe I'm kind of lost. I think bishop to f3 right now is probably, I need to alleviate some pressure. So I think this is probably the best move in the position. Yeah, I've really kind of messed this up by moving bishop to d2 because I can never play d4 because e3 hangs. And yeah, it's just this is gonna fall. If I go here because my bishop is moved. Yeah, it's just, I totally messed this game up, and now like the rest of this game is just a complete struggle because I did this, which this is totally a blunder. There was just no reason for that at all. I totally missed the idea that two pieces can attack one, and now I'm stuck, so that was kind of dumb. And I thought about coming to here, but I don't think it works because this is pinned, and it's just all kinds of nastiness that I can't deal with. I'm gonna lose. So I was like, oh, well, that's dumb. I had to move back. So I pretty much wasted a move, and now he's got this crazy initiative, and there's nothing really I can do about it. Now it's just he's got all these threats, like this is coming, you know, this is under attack. You know, he can bring his knights in. It's just, I'm completely shut down because of this move, which this is most certainly a mistake. I don't think it's quite a blunder, but it most certainly deserves a question mark. The best move here is this, and then followed by whatever, no matter what they do, the next move is here. And then my bishop is still here protecting this if they ever do this type of move. So yeah, it's totally messed this game up. And I'm trying to unwind by playing here, but like I'm just kind of stuck and down a pawn right now. So there's not a lot I can do. The rest of this game is just me struggling. All of my problems from this game stem from those first two problems. So the rest of it is just me struggling. And it's kind of me just falling apart, honestly. So we can look at the train wreck. It's pretty bad. Not a lot I can do. And then I make a major mistake somewhere, I think. Yeah, this was my mistake here. I was trying for tricks, didn't work, and just still trying for more tricks, but still lost a piece. So not a lot I can do. Pretty bad. I'm gonna lose that, and I'm just down a full piece. So yeah, it's rough. I fought, but like after this, yeah, after this move and then this move, I kind of shut down and I stopped playing fighting chess. Almost like I gave up. And it shows because the rest of the game is just poor. Tough to watch even. So, you know, what are you going to do? this happens. Sometimes you have breakdowns, and you have to learn from it. I don't know why I did this. I'm trying to think back to try to figure out why I did this, and there was no reason. I think in my mind, I think I was thinking I could play a quick d4 and then get this really strong center and then move my king to h1, and there's nothing they can do. Nope. Totally messed it up. And yeah, that happens, you know? And I think at this point I was like, oh no, I'm in big trouble. I've really misplayed this really poorly. And then I made that move, and then because my idea was just come back here to, G3, and I realized it doesn't work. Because then I started calculating. I didn't calculate when I made this move, but I'm most certainly calculating when I made that move. So, and then here it's just a struggle bus the whole way. Not a good game, but I learned a lot because I learned that I can't win positional games by missing tactics. This game taught me that. And things have changed drastically since then. This game was a catalyst game for sure, because my chess has changed extremely drastically from the time I played this game. Very much so. For the better. So this game, though it was painful, taught me a lot, which was good. I needed it. Yeah, tough game. What are you gonna do? Not much you can do. It happens. Okay, let's close that one out and take a look at the next one. So at this point, I lost that game, obviously, and now I'm 1-1. 1 win and 1 loss. And my next game is with Eli Glendolf. And I am black. Let's get that up. For some reason it's not. There we go. Okay. So, if you're trying to improve in chess, please enjoy this video. It is about, we're going to analyze a game that I had in a tournament. This is round 3 of the Hot Weather Swiss at my local chess club here in Waukesha, Wisconsin. And I bet you can't guess the opening I played here. So he started e4, and let's see if anybody can guess what opening I played. Leave a comment down below. See if you can guess what opening I played. I don't think anybody saw the start. Yeah, I mean, you could probably look it up by the ECO code, but you actually can't see it on the screen. But it did flash when I opened the game. This was a fun game. I felt really good about this game. So this game is the start of me changing my chess, for sure. So my chess changed drastically in the week that I played, since I played Robin. And then this was played earlier this month on August 2nd. Any ideas? I played a Caro-Kann. Okay, so I'm playing Eli. This is the first time that I've played him in almost a year. So the last time I played him was a year ago, and I played him one time and I lost. So this was a revenge match for me. And he played the advanced. And my prep that I had, which I didn't play here, was C5. And there's a number of ways to play this particular way. This is one of the ways which I was prepared for, this variation here. The other one is taking, and I was prepared for that as well. Whoops, I think we go here instead. So we're attacking both these pawns, and a lot of times this is here, and then we go here and castles and here, and we get these very interesting games. So my next move is here, kick the bishop, trade, and I'm prepared for these things. So that's what's in my prep, in early C5. But I didn't play that. I decided to play the other, the main line, which is bishop F5. Taking a note out of Evan's book, The Chess Lobster. He likes to play this variation. He's very comfortable with it. The idea is to trade off the light squared bishop quickly and try to trade off the queens. And if you can, this is a great game for black. And if you can get those in, it's quite equalizing, which is awesome. So he played here. We close it down. He played here. And I played C5. I was like, oh, I got my bishop out. I'm going to rip open the center. And usually the move, this move, knight to b to d2, is not a move. So I wanted to try to punish that, because that's not a good move. A lot of times you want to play this. Reason being, this is the variation that you want to play. And then we go here with check. They do whatever they want to do with, however they want to block it. If they block with the queen, you just take the queen and you got what you wanted. Go to town. But depending on how they block, a lot of times they'll block here, play c3 or knight to c3, and then you play here. And you get to get this queen trade. And if they don't trade, let's say they get out of the way, then you've stopped them from castling. So in the eyes of the opening, this is awesome. If you can get this, this is great for black. We can just develop normally. And we're looking great. This is all awesome stuff. This is normal Caro-Kann stuff. So that's what I was hoping for. He didn't play this, and he played this interesting, I think is a rather dubious move, knight b to d2, and this kind of jams him up, because now he's taking a square away from this knight. The knight on f3, it doesn't have the same amount of squares to leave if it gets attacked. So makes it really interesting to deal with. And I thought, okay, well, now we're going to strike in the center, and I'm going to just pile up on the d4 square. He develops bishop to e2, and I get my knight developed. There's no threat of him taking it, which is nice, so I get this free development, and I can bring it into g4 really quickly. And he played a3, and I was expecting him to play The idea is to play a4 or b4 and then kind of blow things up and have this nice queenside. And I thought, well, okay, we're not going to allow that. He castled, and I played g4. And I think this is a really good move because now he's only got... There's a major threat. I'm going to play g4 next after playing g5, and he's going to have to move his knight. His knight's going to have to come back to this really super passive square, and his knight just looks ridiculous. So the only defense to that is playing h3, and we're going to play g4 anyways, because if he takes, which he did, we then get this type of scenario. It's also to be noted that we can probably take with the knight if we wanted. I think it still works there because then we can play rook to g8 after that. But I like this because I'm expecting him to move his knight because his knight has really no good squares. And when he moves his knight, I can trade the bishops off. And I did. And I can bring my knight to this really good square. And I thought, okay, this is really good. I think this is really great. I can get my queen out, and then I can castle queenside, and I'm going to be really super safe. And it'll be really nice. I feel like I'm in control of the game with that g4, g5, g4 idea, and I get this open line to his king. I'm playing fighting chess. I'm playing aggressive chess. I feel really good about my game at this point. So he comes in and he's got these ideas of coming into right here, which has a check, and then I have to move my king, blocking my bishop, and I don't like that stuff. So I thought bishop to g2 was good. Now, the idea was I wanted to start rolling this pawn down right at his king as quickly as I could. So the idea was I didn't want to come here. I think I was seeing some ghosts for some reason, thinking that he's going to come here, and I didn't want to move my king, so I'd be stuck taking, like this. But for some reason, I guess I just didn't see this, or I just missed it and was like, oh, that just wins a pawn, and then I can castle after. I'm not sure. I think I was just seeing some ghosts. That would have been a better move. The bishop is much better on e7 than on g7. So that's much better. But I moved it there for some reason, and it caused me problems. But I can continue with my plan a little bit. And now I've realized I've kind of shot myself in the foot by not putting my bishop on e7. So, and now we get this type of situation. And I calculated these lines, which I thought was good. What I thought he was going to do was come in here. I didn't think he would go knight to h4. I thought that was weird. And then I would just go here. And I thought he might come back here, and then we might do a repeat. And then I've got at least a draw at this point, and I'm okay. I thought that he would come in there. I don't know why he didn't. We talked about it afterwards a little bit. And yeah, it was interesting. He said he thought of that, and he thought that I would just move back and that we get this repetition. He's still trying to win the game. But he moved here, and he thought this move was better. And I thought, oh, well, I can just trade off some more pieces, get my king out, and now I can move all my pieces, over this way and have these mate threats. That's the idea. And that's kind of what I did. So I started piling up all my pieces on the king side. Now, what I thought he was going to do is actually come in here after he traded off my bishop. So after he traded that off, I thought for sure that he would come in here, and I'd have to get pushed back again. But I think he just didn't like being in this spot. We talked about it briefly, but there wasn't a lot of discussion about it, because I thought that he might do this, which seems a little risky, but I don't really have much going on. Even if I come here, I can easily be kicked. The other option is here, but I don't think it serves a purpose yet, and I have 3 moves before I can start really attacking, and I do have to worry about this. So I have to be careful in some respect. All right, perfect. So she's doing that. Great. Okay, so that was what I saw. He didn't go for that. He tried something different. And I was able to kind of block him in with h4 and keep him a little bit contained. And I thought, oh, okay, well, I can maneuver my rooks and start getting all of these things and just loading up on the king. And he finally pushed f4, which I think I get the idea. I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not. To me, it's you have to be willing to open up allow this square access, because now, and then he was smart, because now he's got 1, 2, 3 pieces on this square, and I have 1, 2, 3 pieces on the square, so I can't go in there yet. I have to I have to be careful. So I was like, well, all right, I'm going to bring my queen to a little bit more improving square. He has to be careful because we've got this guy coming in. Now I'm going to start winning pawns on the queen side. So he stopped that, and I decided to make some trades and pushed his queen back. And then I improved my queen a little bit more because now I want to threaten this. And now I'm threatening checkmates, the checkmating idea. So he has to be very careful. He does stop it, which is great. And I just keep improving little bit by little bit. And here at this point, I'm good because I won this other pawn, and I'm going to win this other pawn here after taking the queen. And yeah, he's going to get my h pawn, but I'm, if he comes here and I come here, I'm going to win both of these pawns, and he can't stop them. It's going to get, I don't have to move my king. I can push these other pawns up the board, and it's pretty much game over. So he resigned after I took that pawn. So yeah, it was a good game. Eli is a really strong opponent. He's very good. He's tough to play against. I enjoy this game. So at this point now, I am 2-1. So we're looking good. Quite a bit, which is nice. So I can't complain one bit. All right, let's get out of that game. And is this actually showing my next game? So let's change this to, okay. All right. Guess the opening. If you're looking to improve in chess, please like and share these videos. It does help me out a lot. Shows you that you like this type of content and you want to see more. Let's dive into this game. Actually, I'm going to get a drink because I'm a little parched, so bear with me. Okay, we can do that in a minute. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to head to the restroom first. And then I will be back. So I will be back in a minute. Let's do this. I'm going to take a little bio break, and I'll see you guys in a minute or two. Welcome back, everybody. Hello. We have returned. Are you into chess? Are you looking to improve? This video might be for you. Stay tuned and let's take a look at my round 4 of the Hot Summer Swiss tournament, and let's dive into some game analysis. My game is with John DeMastri at my local club. I've played him 2 other times before, but the times I played him, I was just coming back to chess a year ago, and he beat me both times. So this was another revenge match for me. I have 2 revenge matches, actually 3 in this one alone. So in this tournament. So right now in the tournament standings, I am sitting at 2-1. So I'm doing well. And this game would be great depending on how the outcome is. Now, this game is a pretty paramount game for me. This is a turning point type of game, like some of the others in my chess development and improvement. For a long time, I've played C4. Before that, for about 20 years, I played D4. And before that, when I was a teenager and learning how to play chess, I was an E4 player. This is the first game I've played in a classical match where I played E4 first in over 20 years. 20 years, more than 20 years since I played E4 in a classical game. So, this is going to be all new territory for me. And what I learned about my chess is that my tactics, when I came back to chess, my tactics were very, very low. I needed a lot of help, and I studied pretty much solely tactics. But what I found was I was playing very positionally minded openings. I was not playing tactical openings, so I wasn't seeing new tactics in my games. I was seeing positional concepts. I was playing the English. I was playing the Dutch, which can be a positional opening, but it's more of an aggressive opening. But I didn't see it a lot because there's not a lot of D4 players in my club, and I'm not seeing D4 a lot online either. I think in the last year I'd only seen 2 or 3 Dutch in classical, and I only saw maybe 6 or 7 online. So I wasn't playing the Dutch very often. So as black, and then I was playing the French, and the French is a very solid opening, but it's very positional. It can get very tactical, but I was not playing the tactical lines. I was playing very solid positional lines. So, long story short, there's a long-winded way of saying I was learning tons of tactics, but I was never seeing them in my games. So I decided to drop all of my opening prep, all of it. I dropped the English, I dropped the Dutch, and I dropped the French. A year's worth of work, gone. Not gone. Gone is the wrong way to say it. That I'm not going to use right now. I'm going to change my opening repertoire to more align with tactical ability. So I'm going back to E4 and E4, E5 types of structures because I don't know them. I haven't played them for 20 years, and the way that I thought that I knew them, I don't. So I read a book called Pump Up Your Rating by Axel Smith. I don't have the book. I have it on Forward Chess. Those of you that are familiar with it, go to forwardchess.com. Actually, I believe I can put it in the chat. Bear with me here. This is an awesome website. I urge you all to check it out. It's great. So if you struggle with reading books, chess books namely, and you find yourself not getting through them because you're like, man, I have to set it up on a board like the one behind me, and then I get lost in the variation, and and then I have to reset the board, and you're just like, that's too cumbersome. I can't do that. Check out Forward Chess. This gives you the ability to buy the book online in like e-reader type of format, but what's really cool about it is when you click on a variation, it gives you a board, and then you can go through the variation and click through it, which is really nice. And to me, that was super helpful for me being able to digest a book much faster. Now, the book that I bought was Pump Up Your Rating by Axel Smith. It was amazing. It just like opened my eyes to chess. And then I listened to some podcasts on the Chess Journeys podcast by Dr. Skull. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he's one of the chess punks on Twitter. And I listened to, I don't remember what episode number it was, but it was with Stasia Pugh, I believe, or Pugh is her last name, I believe. And it was eye-opening, and I said, I'm going to do that, which was her international master coaches told her to drop all of her prep and start fresh. And they gave her a fully aggressive repertoire, and I said, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm dropping everything that I know about the opening, and I'm going back to e4, and I'm going to relearn the fundamentals of chess. I'm going to humble myself and say, you know what, even if I lose 10 games in a row, I'm going to learn these structures, and I'm going to start going for the initiative in the attack. I'm going to give up pawns like they don't matter. I'm going to give up pieces for sacrifices. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to see these tactics in my game. I'm going to force it to come to my face. So I did. And the first game that I see is a Sicilian. And I know exactly what to do because I bought another Simon Williams course. The Grandmasters E4, Grandmasters Gambits 1 E4 by Simon Williams. And sorry, I don't have that actually marked either. I can bring it up though. Grandmaster Gambits 1 E4. See course homepage. I will post this. I saw this because I am a Simon Williams fan. And I said, okay. And I got that. I didn't get it with the videos. Usually I get them with videos, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to get no fluff. I'm going to just focus on stuff. And the first thing that he talks about is the wing gambit. And I know some of you guys are looking at this like, dude, Nick, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? You're giving up a pawn for free? Like, you're just going to give that away? Yes, absolutely. I'm going to give pawns away for initiative. And this is a huge turning point. This game is a huge turning point for me. I knew and felt like I knew what to do, and I felt comfortable. And I thought, even though I had very little prep, I didn't do a lot of prep. I had some prep, but not a lot. And he took, and I'm going to play A3. And you're like, what are you doing? Why? Oh my God, you're just going to give up pawns and just blow up your game? What are you doing? No, there's reasons for this, and it's going to show very quickly. Creating a clip. Yeah, we're clipping that because that was exciting. Yeah, I'm going to give it up. If he takes, I know what to do. If he pushes forward, I know what to do. If he doesn't take, I know what to do. I'm ready for all three responses here. And the idea behind this opening, you're going to see very quickly. He plays e5, play knight to f3. I'm attacking the pawn. We have this going on. He's going to defend it with this guy. We got this going on. This pawn's under attack. And now we have threats. He saves the pawn, but this move right here is not a good move. I believe that is going to be a question mark. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Not a blunder, but a difficult move because now he's got a backwards pawn. I have not only forced a positional weakness, but now he's stuck. Like, this bishop no longer can get out. He can't come after this pawn. So I can develop. Let's develop more. Let's get my pieces out. The whole idea behind this opening, give up these pawns and get crazy initiative and crazy attack by quick development. He defends. I get castled. Now I've got king safety. His king is still in the middle of the board, and he is no closer to castling. Look at these pieces just stuck here. Moves his queen, attacks my bishop. I gotta drop back, which is okay. This might be one of the inaccuracies of the game. I probably should have just developed to, C4 to begin with, because now I've lost a tempo. And the idea of playing an opening with initiative is all about tempo. You want as many tempo as you can have. But it served a purpose for me. Reason being is this bishop he developed to here as a passive move instead of coming up here. So, and now he came up here. Exactly. So we did play this little back and forth tempo deal, but that's okay. Now I went for it. Look at that. This is a double exclamation point. Bam! Totally a double exclamation point. This sacrifice is awesome. And you're like, wait, what? Reason being, if he takes, that's what we want. We want him to take. Do you see the next moves? If you do, pause the video. If you don't, pause the video. Either way, put your comments down below. What is the sequence? Do you see it? So, the move is check. And he has to move his king. No matter where he moves his king, we get this bishop. And we've won a pawn. We get our bishop back. And we have the initiative because we have our queen coming in. No matter what he does, he's got to move his king. He's got to do something. Let's say he moves here. We get this, and now we've got another discovery. He's probably not going to move there. He's probably going to move back. But you get this really nice attack really quick. And he was smart. John is really good. He's 1687. I'm 1533 at this point. And he was smart enough not to take. But now I've won a pawn. I got one of my pawns. The pawn that I gave up, the B pawn, I got it back. I'm going to take another pawn. Let's take it. He took my queen, or my B pawn, and now there's threats. And there's lots of tactical threats here. He can take my bishop. My bishop is just hanging. There's nothing there. What do? I develop another piece. What? He can just take that. Can't he? Why did you do that? Well, I'm just going to start coming in. If he ever takes this, we have the same sequence we had before. So if he comes here, we have this, and we're coming in. And now the other issue is that now I've got two knights and this queen coming in, and things are just going to get nasty really fast. Also, if he comes here and takes, the other thing that we can do, let's say he comes in this way. I'm going to come here. He's not going to take. He's probably going to move. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do this. And we're going to go after the queen. Queen's going to move, probably somewhere safe. Then we're going to come in this way. And white or black is having all kinds of problems. It's getting really bad really fast. Not to mention that we also have this type of sacrifice to win this piece, and things are going to get blown up even more. So I do that. I come in, and he decides he's smart enough not to take that piece. And now I get some initiative. I'm going to have to push this queen back. My bishop's no longer undefended. And I've got this crazy pin here. I got this attack going. Things are doing great. So here I was a little unsure of my best plan here. And I don't know that this is the best move. Maybe it is. If you guys see this position, what would you guys do? Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think your best move here as white would be. White to play and get a crazy initiative. I like my move. I think it works really well because the way it is right now, we're forking the king and the queen. It's forcing him to trade. And then we're going to just drop back. And now I've got the bishop pair. I mean, he also has a bishop pair, so I don't have the bishop pair against him, but I have all the pressure. He stops my knight from coming into g5, and I'm going to stop some things from happening. I'm controlling the knight. There was a grandmaster that said something, if you want to, take forward squares away from knights. The forward squares are these for the knight. Whoops. These two. So the easiest way to do that, play c3. Now, is that the best move in the position? Probably not. I probably could have just played rook to b1 and just started loading up on this pawn here. And he's going to drop back even further. But I really want to try to limit his access to anything. And I really wanted to play d5 or d4 at some point too. He plays to try to... I thought this was an interesting move. I think he's just trying to protect his king. I don't know that it serves any type of purpose other than that. He might have been hoping that I would exchange. And I did. But I improved a piece first by playing rook to b1 by pushing the queen back. And we get this position here. Actually, well, he takes, and now we get this position here. Which I feel really good, because I have this move here, and then we have this move, and things are looking really nice. Sorry, my wife is texting me about something while she's at work. Weird. Interesting. So I saw that and I'm like, okay, that looks cool. I like that. And I thought, well, I'll control the center first. And yeah, I'm going to try to get some activity. This knight can come in here. Queen's coming in. And we got this really nice attack starting, even with this and this, and all of my pieces are like working together really well. The other thing that I thought was, instead of doing that, I could have just pushed. I could have just went here, pushed his king, and just locked these pawns up. And I didn't. I mean, I thought about blowing it up too. I have a couple options here. I haven't investigated all of them, so that is definitely something that I might want to do at a later date. And yeah, I think a lot of these are interesting lines. Yeah, I mean, this is something that is interesting, and the king has to come back. I don't even know. I think maybe here. I don't even know where's best. I'm not sure. No, that's not best, because then we just take this. So that's not good. He's probably got to come back here. New main line. King to e7 doesn't work, so let's delete that. So yeah, king d7 does not work because of the pin on the d6 pawn. This is probably better. And then I think we could just still do the same thing and come in with this. Or we have to deal with this right here. So maybe we come... Interesting. How do we... Not sure. Maybe pushing is not the most ideal. Yeah, okay, so maybe we take... I mean, I think all of these are interesting moves to explore. I feel like he has to take, but no. If he takes, we get this, and this is nasty. New variation. Bishop d6, that's not... Okay, this got messed up here. So, takes, and now he's kind of in trouble. He only has one move. He can't really do that. I like this better. Well, maybe. Not quite sure. Because now that bishop... Now I'm kind of almost forced to take that bishop. I don't know. This is interesting for sure, though. A line that most certainly has to be considered. I tried something different. I wanted to come in like this. And I gave him a little bit of counterplay. And then I have this strong center, and I was like, okay, we're gonna blow this all up. And there's definitely some tactics here, which gets really crazy. And he's forking my pieces, but I'm gonna blow them open. And now look at that. What a crazy sequence, because I threatened checkmate in one. He's got to take it. For those of you that can't see checkmate in one, it showed on the board. I was going to say pause the video and try to figure it out, but my knight's protecting here, and the queen can come in, and that's checkmate. So he has to take the rook. And now we have won a queen for a rook. He takes my knight, and I take his knight. Now it's a queen and a rook against two rooks and a bishop. And there was a time, where was it? Bishop, yeah, so let's move back. Right here on move 25, he offered me a draw. And I have a 20-minute advantage, more than a 20-minute advantage. He's got 6 minutes left, and I have 28. And I thought about it for 2 minutes before playing queen to e6 check and denying his draw, and we played on because I saw this. And I think he mentioned in the game he thought that he could get out of this. And I saw this and I was like, this is winning, I feel. And he stopped me from coming in to here. And I'm threatening more checkmates. My idea is to come here. And then, whoops. Things are going to get crazy fast. And I came in there anyways. He pushed a5. And I saw this nice mating sequence. Pause the video and try to figure it out for yourself from here. See if you can figure it out. This is a really nice mate. Idea being this is blocked, so when I come here, he's in check. He's got only 2 moves. 1, 2. Okay, and then see if you can figure out the rest. Did you guys figure it out? Leave your comment down below. Let me know if you figured it out, and let me know what the sequence is. Check. He moves forward. Check. And he moves forward. And queen to f5, checkmate. And he missed this move, and he saw it on the board. And he's like, oh, wow. He's like, I thought I could get out of that. I didn't see it. So kudos to John. This was a great game. I enjoyed this game quite a bit. And this gave me a 3. 3-1. So I went 3-1 in this tournament, and I gained quite a bit of rating points. I think 40 something. This brought me up to 1590 something, 1593 I think, with my last tournament. I think something like that. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's very helpful. If you did like this kind of content, please like and share. It does help me out. Let's take a look. I am confident that player search. Okay, let's change this to full screen. The other screen. Sorry. Whoa. I'm sorry. Mess that up. That's crazy. Okay, so what I will do is I'll minimize that and I'll just move it over here. That'll be easier. That way you guys can see. Okay. Do we have it right now? Yeah, we do. Okay. Player lookup. Nicholas Sloan. Change our state to Wisconsin because that's where I'm from. We will submit that. You can see my ratings there, but this doesn't tell you because it hasn't posted yet. I mean, it's kind of accurate, but yeah, you can see it here. As of 9/1, my published rating will be 1593, and we will be doing well. So if we go to my tournament history, and you take a look at this Hot Summer Swiss, and we look at the Open, I finished 4th with 3 points. A win, a loss to Robin, and then 2 wins. So I played really, really well. I don't remember what my performance was. We can look that up too. So let's go back. So if we go to the ratings estimator and we look at who I played. So I lost to Robin, and he was 1652. We played 4 rounds. I had 3 points. 1555. And he was 1622. 1652. And then the mastery was 1677. Eli was 1600. And Mike Gunlack was 1103. Calculate. So my performance was 1708 in that tournament, which is pretty good, which gave me about 42 points, roughly. This is pretty close. It's not super accurate. But it's pretty close. And yeah, if we go take a look, yeah, 1593. So really good. I'm pretty happy with that performance, and yeah, it's been really nice. So yeah, definitely made some changes to my game, which has helped tremendously. Playing E4 and going back to the fundamentals has been super helpful. Really, really nice. So All right, friends. Thanks for watching, everybody. It's been awesome. I've had a great time with you tonight, and I hope you guys all keep playing. Thanks, and have a great day.